Hello and welcome to A View from the Cab. Over the weekend I saw on Twitter that the Beckhams, good old Victoria and David Beckham, were getting yet more grief, more heat from everybody basically. I think I've done a vlog about Beckhams before, and I really, basically what it is Victoria Beckham has started her own company. I don't really know what she sells, probably beauty products and things, I would imagine. I don't really know. If you're that interested, go and have a look. I'm not interested, so there you go. But basically she started her own business doing whatever it is, and she's applied to the government scheme for furloughing her staff. Now the furlough scheme is designed for businesses who want to lay off their staff temporarily but keep them employed, and any UK business is allowed to apply. You know, there's no restriction on who can apply, or you know, whatever. Any business registered in the UK and blah blah blah, as long as they're legally registered, you know, can apply. But people seem to think that because the Beckhams have their own personal net worth, their own personal money, that they should be using their own personal money to pay for their staff themselves. Now that just doesn't happen. That is not how the world is. There's plenty of other big companies that have furloughed a lot of their staff. Arriva, the big bus company, has furloughed a lot of their staff, but nobody's asking the directors or the board of directors or the chairman of the board or whatever to personally dip into his own bank account to pay for the furloughed staff. Because why? Well, that's not reasonable, is it? That's just not, you wouldn't do that. But for some reason it's okay for Victoria Beckham to dip into her own personal bank account. I don't know what planet these people live on, to be honest. It's just yet another excuse to hate the Beckhams. You know, David and Victoria Beckham, they could devote their whole lives to rescuing kittens and bunnies and things. You know, they could devote their lives. They could imagine if Victoria Beckham went off and changed her life and basically became like Mother Teresa, right? People would still manage to find a way to hate her for it, and I really don't understand why. It seems like a sport in this country to hate the Beckhams. You know, I mean, I've got a bit of a soft spot for David Beckham anyway, because, you know, he used to play for Man United in the good old days, the glory days. You know, he came through the academy and blah 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 blah, and he was, you know, great for Man United in the olden days. You know, but people in this country just seem to, they revel in it. Any excuse, you know. If David Beckham, if it was revealed that he found a wounded hedgehog at the side of the road and he took it to a vet and paid for it out of his own pocket and blah blah blah, people would still manage to find a way to hate on him for it. And oh well, he's only doing that as a publicity stunt, isn't he? He's only doing that because he wants people to think he's nice, and he is nice. David Beckham has never once given anybody any reason to think he's anything else. You know, he's a good, you know, he's a good guy. He's got his own little family going on. He's got his wife, his 3 kids. He's worked all his adult life. Yes, he's been successful. Yes, he's earned a lot of money. Earned is the key word there. Earned. He's earned a lot of money. You know, Victoria Beckham, she was a singer, you know, and you know, she was in the Spice Girls and one thing and another. Now, I don't begrudge any celebrity that has got the courage basically to go on stage and sing and dance and perform. If you've got the courage to do that, you deserve everything, all the rewards that come with it. It's not something I would personally wish to do, so I don't expect to be paid for doing it, you know. But these people, you know, you get these you know, singer-songwriters and you know people like the Rolling Stones and stuff, you know, still touring at the age of 700 years old, and you know, but if they've got the what's name and the talent to go out and actually do it, then good luck to them. Let them make some money and pay them well. If they've got a fan base that really craves to see them, you know, then go for it. I mean, I'm sorry this is such a dark video. It must be the light and the exposure. Let's see if I just can't brighten it up just a shade. You know, so these performers, these singers, you know, she was prepared to. She probably sacrificed a lot in the early days with the Spice Girls. You know, she probably gave up a lot. You know, and standing on stage in front of thousands of people, singing and dancing, can't be an easy thing for anybody to do. So why hate her for it? I just don't understand where the hate comes from. I just don't get it. You know, David Beckham, all he ever was a good captain for England. You know, I don't think David Beckham ever retired officially from the England squad either. He sort of said, look, I'm not retiring from English football. If England needs me, call me. But no, we've still got to find a reason to hate him for it. You know, and if he's willing to advertise, put a picture of himself on billboards in his skiddies, his pants, his tighty whities or whatever, you know, let him. If people are going to pay him to model their pants, their skiddies, then good luck to him. If you know, I wouldn't want to go to the shop, you know, to buy a pint of milk and see a picture of myself on a billboard in my boxer shorts. So it's just not something I would you know, walking down the street and you see yourself on the side of a bus in an advert. I wouldn't want to see that. I don't think anyone else would want to see that either. But you know, they still manage to find. All they've done is work hard, earn their own living. And I'm sure I've done a vlog about this before. Earn their own living, pay their own way. Yes, they've got a nice house. Yes, they've got nice cars. Yes, they buy nice things for their children. I still can't see a crime. I still can't see a problem with working hard and buying nice things for yourself and your family. I just don't understand. Yes, she's used the government furlough scheme to furlough some of her staff. Well, that's what it's for. In this day of this crisis, this global crisis we're going through right now, I'm only going to say it once. I'm only going to say the word coronavirus once. This crisis that we're going through, that's what the scheme is there for. These other companies are not being hated on for furloughing their staff, so why should Victoria Beckham be? I just don't get it. I just simply can't understand it, and that's where I think my frustration comes from, is because I simply don't understand. It seems to be we could make it an Olympic sport. If we made an Olympic sport out of hating David and Victoria Beckham, this country would win gold every single time. We would sweep the board on hating David and Victoria Beckham. It's the only thing that this country is actually any good at. You know, I just don't understand it. I don't get it. Lay off the Beckhams, everybody. If you've got nothing nice to say, then say nothing at all. That's what my old granny used to say. If you've got nothing nice to say, don't say anything. So there you are. That is my view from the cab, again, about leave the Beckhams alone. All they are is a couple with a family trying to make a nice life for themselves, and that's it. There's no reason to hate them. Lay off the Beckhams and focus on your own lives. That's my view from the cab. Look at that, just as it's coming to an end, everything brightens up. So all I can do is apologise for the sort of dark, gloomy picture that you've got there. You know, so lay off the Beckhams, worry about yourselves, and I'll leave it there for the time being.